Hey, this is Clint from Thousand Needles in Red, and you're listening to Dando on Torrent This on Pirate Radio.
And now I am joined on the line by the frontman of one of the hardest working rock bands in the country today. After forming only last year, they released their debut album titled Empires on iTunes in September this year, which debuted at number 4 on the iTunes Australia Top 10 Rock Albums chart. They're currently on their 4th tour in 12 months, and will be playing 2 shows in Melbourne, one at the Espy on December 8th, and one in Fir Tree Gully on December 9th. I'm of course talking about Thousand Needles in Red, and I'm lucky to be joined on the line by their singer Clint. Clint, thanks for your time, man, and how's things?
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, it's great to be here. Man, everything's good. It's really hot in Queensland at the moment, so I've been really enjoying the heat and sweating buckets, so it's good. I'm a Queenslander through and through. What can I say?
Yeah, is it good being home, man?
Oh man, it's so good to be home. You know, everyone, a lot of people ask me that. What's it like to be out on the road for so long now? And it's every time I come home, it's amazing. It's it really is true. I know it's an old cliche, but home is where the heart is.
Have you had a chance to catch up with friends and family when you're not playing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I try to catch up with friends when I'm at home. I see my family as much as I can. Every time I get back home, I'm always on the phone. What are you guys doing? Is there something happening? I'm always constantly calling my dad. When are we having beers?
Yeah.
So usually it's when the footy's on. So I harass him with whenever the AFL season's on. I usually go over and share a couple of beers and watch the game.
Thank God you said AFL, not NRL.
Well, you know what I hate. There's only 2 forms of football for me. There's a lot more, but
yeah.
AFL is my week-to-week game,
yep.
And I love State of Origin Rugby League when it's on, and I like the World Cup of Rugby Union, so it's the big things, but AFL's my game.
I don't know what it is, I just can't get into rugby. Maybe it's just because I'm from Melbourne,
Yeah, dude, you know what? As soon as I remember when I was a kid, when I was a grommet, and a friend of mine at school said, hey man, because we came from central North Queensland, big rugby league towns.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said, hey man, do you want to be in one of the first AFL teams to start in our age group? And I was like, hell yeah. I'll give that a shot. Because I used to catch the AFL games on the weekends, man, and that was the thing. I admired the athleticism, the skill, and they used to cop a lot, because you'd say to people, I love AFL, and they go, aerial, ping pong, victory.
Yeah, I hate that.
And you know what, now that it's pretty much a countrywide game, and not only that, it really is the best game. I saw, was it I can't remember who it was, they put a distance meter on them, and
yeah.
Something ridiculous, 20-something kilometres in a game.
It's insane, isn't it?
That is, man, how can you refute that it's the most athletic game in the world?
Well, there you go, Andrew Demetrio. 1,000 Needles in Red should get a free ticket to every AFL game next year. That was the biggest endorsement ever.
Oh, dude, you know what? And if we can get our music playing in the quarter time and the half time PA system, I'd be stoked.
You guys should apply to be in the halftime grand final thing.
Well, you know what? The fact that, and can I say, poo on them for paying $500,000 for Meatloaf.
Oh,
come on, man! You could have got the top of the pop Aussie acts for that, and it's an Aussie game. The Yanks don't give 2 hoots about AFL. Come on, that was insulting, and I really felt like the AFL as a group let us down. I mean, the company AFL let us down. Yeah,
because I was really pissed off when I found out how much they actually paid Meatloaf, and I bet you he didn't even know who was actually playing in the game.
Dude, oh man, you know what? I've felt exactly the same, and I know that there was a lot of hardcore AFL fans out there that felt exactly the same way as us. Even fans of Meatloaf I talked to. That, you know what? I'm a big fan of Meatloaf, have been for years, but that was terrible.
And his performance was so bad.
I know, and for him, to be the endorsee, the entertainment act of our particular code that we so love, was a real slap in the face. And you know what? It just goes to show that we still aren't supporting our own just yet, and that's a little bit disheartening. Next year, hopefully, they will have learnt from their mistake and support more Australian acts, which would be nice.
I heard that Triple J is going to start a Facebook page where they're going to get people to like if you want only Australian bands to play before the grand final.
Oh, yeah, totally, dude. You know what? It wouldn't even bother me if it was someone from the pop genre or someone from the rock genre or someone from hip-hop, whatever. It doesn't bother me. As long as they reside in this country, then you're Australian to me, and that's all I care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
The Yanks have got a massive music market, and that, oh man, that money could have been better spent.
And the fact that it was like a guy from like the 70s as well.
Dude, you know what? It just wasn't relevant. You know, it just wasn't relevant. And I took particular exception to that this year. But you know, the game was great. It was a great game. Third quarter was touch and go. Fourth quarter, Geelong ran away with it, and you know, the better team won on the day. And I was super stoked for all the Geelong fans.
Who do you vote for?
Oh, everybody.
Okay.
I know that's a cop-out. It sounds like a cop-out, but I love the game that much that it depends week to week who's playing. You know, if it was, say, I was a mad Brisbane Lions fan until they won the 3 premierships in a row, and then I thought, oh, man, I'm going to pick the underdog.
Yeah.
I remember choosing, who did I go for? The next year I went for Western Bulldogs. And then I thought, you know what, I can't keep flipping and flopping, so I just thought, I'll just choose all of them.
I just baked for AFL.
And I love the game that much.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I can't believe, I didn't realise how much you actually like AFL.
Yeah, dude, man, I have 4 dream teams every year.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, I'm a mad fan. I haven't quite got over to Supercoach yet.
I'm shit ass at it. I never do it.
Yeah, oh man, look, I'm not very good at it, but I follow the drafts and I follow the next round picks, and I know, you know, when Gold Coast came into the team, I knew how many first round draft picks they were getting and all of that stuff. So I like to follow it.
Yeah. Well, getting back to your band, that was a good chat, but getting back to your band.
Yeah.
This is your 4th tour this year. How has that affected your personal and social life?
Oh, you know what? I've been doing it for so long, everybody knows what I do. And not only that, when I come home, it's really special when you get to hang out with friends and family. So that's the good thing, you know, and I suppose, like, geez, I'm coming up with all old cliches today. It's, you know, distance really does make the heart grow fonder, and I think when you talk to people that work away from their families, you know, for, like, especially reps that go out on the road, everybody knows it's really a big thing when you get home, especially to see your family and friends.
Do your friends treat you any differently?
No, because they're, you know, people know you as just...
They're friends of who you are, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I think always on that personal level, you only let in people that are, you know, that are true and that you can sort of gel with on different levels. Because I really don't talk too much about music with my friends so much. You know, it's like they want to go out. You know, they want to go out to the nightclubs and stuff like that when I'm home, and I'm like, no, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
That's where I spend my whole life.
Yeah.
Pretty much in a pub or in a pub. So. For me, quiet afternoons, obviously, you know, barbecuing, watching footy, stuff like that is the bomb for me, and they're the special times that I appreciate the most.
Yeah, barbecues are way better than going out, man.
Oh man, it's just, honestly, to tell you the truth, it's a bit rough for me out there these days, honestly. The last time I went out, it was just trouble.
Once people know who you are, do they try and start fighting you or anything?
No, not at all. Quite the opposite. I have people saying to me, hey man, if anyone messes with you, let me know. So that's always nice. But you know what, the thing is, I think trying to find out like new bands around Australia that no one's heard of, that's what I'm really into at the moment. Coming home and saying, hey man, you know, we played with this band or we went and saw this band. That was amazing. So, you know, I still remember seeing Gautier when he was, you know, Wally when he was just, you know...
Starting out.
Yeah, starting out. Who else was I really... Oh, man, you know, getting to see bands like Greenspoon and all of those guys supporting Screaming Jets around the country, you know, N95 or something in Mackay was amazing.
They're good memories, aren't they? Like,
oh, dude, you know what? It's funny you say that, because I was telling someone just the other day, life is the sum total of all the experiences that you have, and the best experiences are the ones shared, I think. So, and music is exactly that for me, and that's why that's why I do it. That's why I've kept doing it, because there's no money in it unless you're U2 or one of those.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I was in this life to be rich and to have money, I would have been an accountant or you know, or a really good thief. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I guarantee you've had more fun than what they would have had.
Oh, totally. You know, this is the thing, man. It's totally about the experience and making great music. for people that want to listen to it, you know. Don't worry about, and this is my message to all young musicians out there, don't worry about the haters, you know, don't worry about the people that put you down, you know, just believe in yourself, have a good time doing what you do, and if it's meant to happen, it will happen.
Yeah.
You know, because no one can stop what's going to happen. You write an amazing song, someone's going to want to jump on it.
We call them keyboard warriors.
Yeah. Dude, it's the way it goes, you know, so I've been really trying to educate heaps of young musicians wherever I go about those particular facts.
Well, I do this all voluntarily, but that's why I love just contacting bands and interviewing them, because I like to be able to interview bands and then say, hey, I spoke to them 10 years ago before they were anybody, you know what I mean?
Totally, man. It's a really good thing. Having some sort of connection with the music, having some sort of ownership of the music is something that we all crave, like as, you know, especially as music enthusiasts, I will say.
Yeah.
That's why you see on people's bands' Facebook pages where fans get really upset about Johnny-come-latelys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you weren't there at the start, man. You weren't supporting them. You're only there because now they're getting played on commercial radio, yada, yada.
Yep.
So, you know, people want to own it first. They want to know about it before their friends. And it's a privilege, you know, to be there sort of first.
I'm like that with Kings of Leon, because I loved them back in the start. Now everyone loves them, and I reckon their new music's just shit. I hate it.
Yeah, dude, man, I was the same thing when they did, Shake Heart.
That's one of my favourite albums of all time.
Yeah, that was, how good was that?
That was, I went to Pearl Jam just to watch them open for that album.
You know what? Lots of people did, man. I remember talking to, the drummer and Chili's drum tech on Big Day Out. Like we had
really,
many beers, man. I hung out with those dudes for ages. So,
that's awesome.
Watched them on side of stage, like, you know, as they were coming off, doing like, oh, yeah, great show, man. You know.
Yeah.
So that was a highlight, especially because I liked them then. I think because of the times.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really great album.
That was sort of the end of them, though.
That's what I thought too. Only by the Night is.
It's got a couple of good songs, but that's when they started. Just now, their songs are too slow now for me, you know.
Well, you know what the thing is, I guess, like with musicians, they try and explore different facets of themselves and different aspects of their lives, and sometimes, you know, you've got to have. It's like the lull in the conversation. It's like the downtime. So I always think to myself, you know, ride the lows out. But, you know, it depends when you jump on the train, you know, it depends what you like, because I know heaps of chicks that just don't like them before Sex on Fire.
Yeah, they don't even know who they were before Sex on Fire.
Totally, man, and that's kind of frightening, because when I rock up with my laptop with, you know, 10,000, 20,000 songs, whatever is on there, I don't know, it's like weeks of music. And I say, hey, listen to this, you know, I play them like Milk and stuff like that.
Oh, that's such a good song.
Dude, isn't it? And they're like, what is this? I'm like, this is Kings of Leon, man. This is
this is who they are.
This is the real Kings of Leon, man. You know, when they were country boys from, you know, bloody out the back of...
The Southern in America.
Yeah, that's right, out the back of butthole nowhere.
Yeah.
And, that's to me where it's at. But, man, you know what, the thing is with... and I can, you know, and to, like, sort of parallel this with Needles, it's the beginning of, you know, it's when you got the fire in the belly. You know, with me and Triz, when we were writing this album, it was really about just putting down what we wanted to. There was kick-ass sound to us, and a way that we really wanted to present ourselves, the band. And I think in that respect, you always put your everything into what you're focusing on at that point in time. So, yeah, man, I'm really glad we recorded this album and got it out there. It's an amazing piece of music for me to be involved with.
Because I've been listening to it in the car, and like I'm a real big fan of Marble Arc. But what's your favourite song on the album?
Scars for me, man.
Yeah?
Scars and Darkness Meets the Day, I think, is really two really important songs. I think like all of the songs got a really personal meaning to them. They've got like personal lyrics. They're not so coded that you can't sort of see a window into the person that wrote them. And I think that's important too, man. You know, like with a lot of songs I've you know, been listening to lately, they're all really open, and they're, you know, if they say they woke up and, you know, went downstairs and it was raining, then that's the way they write the song. And it's kind of cool to know what was happening. So, with Darkness Meets the Day especially, like, that's straight up. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I'm really proud of it. Empires is a great starting point, and it's like I've said in interviews before, you can't, Rome wasn't built in a day, and you can't start off making, multi-million dollar sort of albums before you've put in the hard yards and earned your stripes,
Exactly. That's like, once I started researching you guys and started listening to your stuff, I was like, these guys work so hard, like 4 tours in 1 year, man. That's insane.
Yeah, man. Well, I guess Australia is such a big country. You've sort of got to do it. And not only that, we love to tour. We like taking the show on the road and visiting people. Not only that, I think, every time you play a gig, and this is something for young musos as well, even if it's in a garage playing to 10 of your mates, like, it's worth 5 practices to no one, So, yeah, man, it's really important to get out there and play live, and like I say to Hits Young Musos, it's not about millions of dollars and limousines and, hot-looking women, whatever, it's about playing music that you love, getting along with your bandmates, they're supposed to be your brothers, and enjoying what you've got. And not only that, having the courage to do it as well.
I love how dedicated you are to giving young guys a go. That's just one thing that really took my eye,
Yeah, man, I think, that it really is where it's at for the music industry, and a lot of people get overlooked for other bands, maybe older bands that are doing better. But we try to give everyone a shot. And not only that, I think when you get given the opportunity, and this is another golden rule for young bands, when you get given the opportunity, you take it with both hands. You put the posters out. You do your flyers. You tell all your friends. You sell as many tickets as you can, because the headlining bands will always think, "Holy shit, man! You guys have done the hard yards."
Yeah, done it all by yourself.
That's right, and you will get talked about with agents and managers, and then they will tell other bands that are passing through that area, "Hey, get band X in." In Wagga, because they pulled 150 of their friends. I mean, that's big and especially in regional areas. You do the hard work, man. You get the rewards.
Do you think social media has helped bands get their name out to a new audience now?
Oh man, for sure. I mean, I can't remember what it was like back in 10 years ago. What it was like before Facebook and websites were popular and all that.
It's hard to imagine, isn't it?
Yeah, man. You think about the bands that did it without radio. I mean, case in point, whether you're into them or not, think about Iron Maiden, one of the biggest bands in the world.
Yeah.
God knows how many millions of records before internet, and they never got played on the radio.
Ever.
So that's, man, word of mouth and people taping LPs on the cassettes and handing them around is massive. And still, word of mouth is the most powerful, medium to getting your name out there ever. And so now, with Facebook and all of that sort of stuff, that's kind of taken the word of mouth thing.
Yeah.
People are telling their friends, "Hey, check out this band," yada yada.
Sometimes it pops up on your profile, "Hey, so and so likes 1,000 Needles in Red's page," and they think, "Who's that?" And they click on it, and then they'll like it, and then it just keeps going. Snowballs. Totally,
man. That's exactly right, and that's what it's all about. And so the more you do for yourself, the bigger, the more attractive you are to people like record companies and things like that.
Did you ever expect the band to take off as quick as it has?
You know what? I didn't really. I think if you look at it in terms of how the band sort of progressed, there's been a lot of work put in behind the scenes. So it feels like to us, we've been working hard for 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
So and we're still at a very entry level sort of part of our career, or where we think we are.
Yeah.
And I guess that's another thing too. It's all about perspective and where you think you are. So so to us, we still feel that we're at a very entry level.
And you guys, you've remained independent, but do you think there'll ever come a day where you'll sign to a record label?
I don't know. You know what? It would depend on the deal. It would depend on the circumstances, the contracts, all of that sort of thing. What sort of what was required of us, what was required of them. You know, there's so much involved in contracts, and I, you know, seriously urge anybody out there to get yourself a good music lawyer if you ever get asked.
Yeah.
Because that's it. Really is that tricky. It's such a tricky thing, and you don't want to be, you know, in any kind of disadvantaged situation where you haven't done your homework, and someone's offering you something. And it doesn't matter whether it's a independent label, whether it's only a distribution deal, whether it's a full-blown contract, whatever. So that's my advice. Geez, I'm bloody full of ideas today and advice. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll have to email you this MP3 so you remember what's going on.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. Actually, something about in conjunction with the needles, or something that I'm launching anyway is a thing next year called Road Coach. So it's the practical application of looking after your instrument, whether you be a singer, drummer, bass player, a guitarist, whatever. When you're on the road, whether it doesn't matter, you know, even if you're playing in your shed. I mean, if you're a participating and active musician, then it's a live seminar with me. So next year it launches, which is going to be very exciting. So I get to impart all of my knowledge, not only for, you know, what I do with my instrument, but also, like, you know, how to get around certain things in the music biz, or the obstacles that seem to pop up from time to time.
That sounds sweet. That's man. Like, how do they get involved with this? How do they find out more about it?
Just I got it up on Facebook now. It's the Road Coach page.
Yep.
So if you just type in Road Coach,
just facebook.com/roadcoach or something.
What's that?
Facebook.com/roadcoach. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it should be that. Yeah. I haven't actually tried to get into it that way. I just go to search when I'm in my own page. So Road Coach is the go. It's a really good thing, man. I urge all musicians of all levels to come and have a look at it. It starts next year in March. We're going to do it at the end of March to give everyone a chance to recover from Big Day Out and Soundwave.
Yep.
So and we're going to run it pretty much. It's going to be in every capital city, so that most people from, you know, bigger regional centres will be able to get to it. So yeah, man, it's really exciting, and it's my way of giving back. So I've yet to work out like ticket price and all that sort of business, but so that's coming next year, and it's my way of giving back.
I'll definitely plug that each week on the show.
Yeah, thanks, man. Oh, that'll be awesome. Yeah, so it's going to be massive, dude. It really is. I've got a good vibe, and not only that, I think, you know what, if this had been around when I was a grommet coming through, man, I reckon I'd be a lot better singer today, or at least I'd be a lot better in my knowledge of like how to deal with bands, how to deal with different personalities in the band. I mean, how to deal with contracts, how to deal with record companies, how to deal with agents, publicists, all that sort of thing.
Well, I've only spoken to you for like 24 minutes, and you've already inspired me, dude, so I'm pretty sure a seminar's going to work well.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's good. That's another thing, you know, I want to install confidence in people and the inspiration to go forward with their music. It doesn't matter what you do. You know, I've talked to people that just sit in their basement or garage and write tunes, and some of the stuff they come out with is exceptional.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, and it's amazing. But you know what? And I've said to friends, man, you got to get that out. Like, give it to me. I'll take it somewhere.
Yeah.
Or, I know some people, and they're like, no, man, I'm really happy just writing for myself. And that is very admirable. That is an amazing quality to have, because music should always be about you. It comes from you. It's about you. It should be, and it should stay with you. I mean, when you give it out, when you give it to the universe and to the people, you know, it still should remain, a part of it should remain yours, the essence, the core of what it was.
Well, that's one thing I've found from just going through Forte and just pretty much trying to interview every band I can find in the magazine. There's so much good music out there, but sometimes they don't know how to get it to the right people, or they don't have the confidence. You know what I mean? So
exactly right, man. It's a tough thing, dude, because you put your heart on the line, man. It's up to get smashed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, at school when when I was a grommet, man, you walk up to that girl and you're thinking, geez, I want to ask this girl out. What if she says no? You know, or guy, whatever. And what if they say no?
I've read a few reviews on Empires, and all of them, they've been positive, but like, are these something you pay particular attention to, or?
No, man, I stopped reading reviews and stuff like that a long time ago. there was a couple of people that really broke my heart with the severity of their words.
Really?
And I just thought, man, that was really, it wasn't constructive, and that's something I take great exception to when, when you're dishing out criticism. I believe it should always be constructive.
Yep.
I don't subscribe so much to the, you had a go, that's really good, because, there's obviously, even though, how do I word this properly? I realise that sometimes when you get a negative review, it actually helps you get better.
Yep.
That's what I'm trying to say. I understand that, and I subscribe to that. But what I don't subscribe to is a outright smashing of people's hard work and the fact that they put their heart on the line and they do it in a non-constructive manner and use hateful words to do it. And I just think, man, you know what? That's the way they want to write it. That's cool, but I don't have to read it.
Do you think reviews have held back a few bands for like they've read a negative review and they've gone, that's it, I'm not doing it anymore?
Dude, you know what? No, well, I don't know. I don't think so. I hope not, because it's only one person's opinion at the end of the day. And you know what? If that one person can influence many, many people, then those many, many people, that's their problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If they buy in, if you buy into one person's opinion, man, you've got to have a good look at yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why it always comes back to that old cliche, don't believe everything you read. And not only that, man, the amount of times I've talked to friends and I've gone, man, that record is shit, that song is crap, that movie was the worst, and I've gone and I've just said to myself, no, I'm going to go and watch that movie, and I have, and I loved it.
Yeah.
That's happened to me so many times. And what about the days, your best friend said, dude, you've got to go and hear that band, and you go and hear them and you hate them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's a, you've got to go forward yourself. You've got to go and find these things for yourself. And not only that, the reward is in the fact that you took on board what someone had to say, but you went and did it for yourself. I think at the end of the day, man, good, confident people are built by doing things for yourself.
Do you think if you guys ever reached a high level of like commercial success that you'd change your style of music to suit the new audience?
You know what, man, if that's the natural evolution of the band, then so be it. But no, not as a form of actually sitting down and saying, right, we need 3 chords in 3 minutes, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or 3 choruses in 3 minutes,
yeah.
Okay? So we need 25 seconds here to the first chorus, then the first chorus, bang. We don't write songs in formulaic. Even though it might sound like that, some of the songs on Empires do sound a little formulaic, in their delivery.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only because that's what the song required. They required X amount, they required a verse, chorus, middle section, chorus out, and that was fun to write it that way, and we felt that it sounded the best that way.
You don't always need 4-minute guitar solos.
Well, this is it, man, and you know what? You gotta always ask, who are the people saying this? Who are the people writing those reviews or saying, whatever about you, good or bad? I don't read good or bad reviews. I just don't read reviews.
Yeah.
You've got to always ask, it's like, I remember, being reviewed once by someone who used a pseudonym, and I remember asking one of the guys at the office of Time Off or something in Brisbane. I said, hey, man, like, this writer really bagged me, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Not off Empires, by the way, it's off subject, but I said, oh, they bagged me, man. What is it? Oh, they said, oh, that little punk chick. And I'm like, right. Then they said a hardcore punk chick. Got to review one of your albums. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. I took it out and went, okay, that's cool, man. Give the album to people that don't necessarily like your style of music, but be constructive. Maybe head it up with, I'm a hardcore punk lover, but this album, blah, blah, blah. If you're a lover of new metal or blah, 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 or hard rock, blah, then you will like this album, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, because I interviewed this pop dude about 2 weeks ago, and it's just not my style at all. And I told him that. I said, it's not my style, but I know for a fact that many people would find this catchy, so it's obviously a good track, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it, man. You know what? The way I see it is good music is good music. It doesn't matter if it's got a hip-hop beat behind it or it's thrash or whatever. Like, a good melody is still a good melody. I mean, if you want to be a music snob, that's cool. But if you keep yourself open to great music, then I think you will have a much richer musical experience. And I think that's what it's all about, is keeping yourself open to enjoy, a variety of different experiences. And I think that should be the impetus for life, basically. And I mean, that's how I break it down, man. That's what I do. I just think, you know what, I'm not really keen on jumping out of a plane, but I did it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, why? Because I challenged myself. The challenge was put down by my friends. I challenged myself, and I thought, you know what, at the end of the day, I can tell my kids that I did that. I can tell my friends, and it wasn't really looked at quite favourably by my mum. But what mum would let their kid jump out of a plane?
Exactly.
Come on.
She's a loving mother, obviously.
That's exactly right. Yeah, she freaked out. So you know what, and it doesn't matter. That's just another example. So keep yourself open to new experiences. Enjoy music, and I mean that's what it's all about. I mean, for me as a musician, I love finding new bands, man. I love finding new music.
Same.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and I like really off the cuff stuff. I like Gautier's new stuff. I mean, that's something very special, and he's Australian, and I love the fact that we've got another Aussie in the international eye.
Your album Empires only came out like 2 months ago, but I've heard that you guys are already writing your new album.
Yeah, man. I was actually, it's funny, on stage the other night in Perth. I said, we've already got 9 songs.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's like there was a few tracks left over from Empires that just didn't suit the Empires format. The new ones are probably slanted, I guess, from us anyway, a little more commercially, I guess.
Okay.
If there was such a thing. But like they don't sound as sort of heavy rock as some of the other ones. So and it's good because it's a different, it's still guitar-driven rock and roll, but it's just a step in another direction. And I think it's very important to keep moving in sort of zigs and zags. Otherwise you get bored and you get boring.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think there's a few bands, not mentioning any names, but there's a few bands that released their second and third albums that those songs could have been on the first album, and only the hardcore fans really love that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people would just start turning off. So, and I think that's what it's about too, man, really attracting new audiences and challenging your fans to stick with you. And I think that's important too. And like, coming back around to what we were talking about with Kings of Leon, I'm a big lover of their first, 3-4 albums.
Yeah.
And yes, the new one did challenge me, and I sort of listened to it and I went, nah, it's not my bag.
No, it just wasn't. I tried and... No.
Yeah, that's a good thing, man. You listened to it, you gave it a shot, and it wasn't for you, and your constructive criticism is that, it wasn't quite right for you and you really appreciate their old stuff and yada yada. That's a good thing.
That's all, because they've got a whole new audience now. They're writing to them. I mean, that's what does best for them, so oh well. But I prefer them to write their older stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? I really love that song by Regurgitator. I love your old stuff better than your new stuff.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, man. It's a certain... I think a reason why is there's a certain romance that you have with a band's music for whatever time that you have it for. But, for me, when something special happens in my life or when there's an amazing period of music that I'm really turned on by, I want it to sort of stay. And when it doesn't, it's sometimes hard to adjust to.
Yeah.
And I get that too. I get like homesick for the old sound of the band.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But I totally feel you on that, man. And hopefully, with the Needles album, we can, the next album and the album after that, we can, keep as many people with us and attract new audiences, and hopefully get to the States and take a run at Europe, because I think expanding your audience is king.
Yep.
Content is king, expansion is king. You got to keep that in mind, I think, as you're trundling along.
Do you think fans of Butterfly Effect have come across 1,000 Needles?
No, I don't think, by and large, no. Generally, no. Which is a little bit interesting, I find, because it's. I really wanted it to be more, this band anyway, to be organic. Like, I didn't want to work off the Butters name.
Yep.
to promote this band. I think that's a good thing for me to do because I want people to find it organically and naturally.
Yeah.
So, and I think people are doing that slowly but surely. The word is getting out there. But, yeah, it would have been nice for a start to, I mean, business-wise, you should be able to bounce off what you've done before. I mean, it's the same product repackaged. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still singing.
Maybe it's a good thing that they didn't, though, because you've just created this whole new audience for yourself. You know what I mean?
Exactly right, man. And yeah, case in point, like I was saying before, it's about expanding audiences. And you know what? It works both ways. The audience that I've found for Needles and that are opening up, or you know, someone will say, "Oh, hey, man, this guy also sings for blah blah blah." So you know, that's massive as well.
Well, what do you guys have? I know what you've got planned for next year. You got the road coach thing going on in the seminars.
Yeah.
What does the band have for next year?
Well, Needles have got. We're going to do another tour, and then we're going back into the studio to start on the second album because our idea was to get the first two albums out pretty quick.
Yep.
Within sort of like a year of each other or a year and a bit.
That's nuts.
Of each other. So yeah, we want to really deliver, you know, a constant stream of music to really keep people, you know, interested in what we're doing. I think, you know, unless you're the size of, say, like Carnival or Butters or something like that, you can't afford to leave it for 4 years. And not only that, it's a different style of music too. It's you can absorb it quite quickly. Whereas I find like stuff like Carnival and Butters stuff, it's a real creeper. They grow on you. I find the albums by and large. So yeah, for Needles, man, we're working hard on the next album already. We've got the 9 songs. We'll do another tour. You know, we'll keep delivering great live shows and hopefully, yeah, get the album out like the end of next year, or maybe the end of next year.
Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but I've had so much fun talking to you, man. You've like inspired me to go out and write some music. But
thanks, man.
Is it okay if I ask one last question?
Yeah, do it.
I ask this to everyone. What advice do you have for all aspiring songwriters out there?
Oh, gee whiz! I think I've almost with all of my great pearls of wisdom.
You really have.
Yeah, dude. You know what? Look, for all aspiring songwriters out there, whether you know, it doesn't matter what style of music you're in, just keep being true to yourself. Keep writing and pouring your heart into your music, and you know what? You can never go wrong. Doesn't matter whether, you know, the songs never see the light of day in your world, in your mind, and your heart. They will always exist, you know. So leave your mark. Be true to yourself, and leave something behind for future generations. And I think if you go with that, man, that's pretty powerful stuff.
Well, there you go. If you haven't already, pick up a copy of Thousand Needles in Red's debut album, Empires. It's full of awesome tracks. And if you're in the area on December 8th, go check them out as they take the stage at the SB in Melbourne, or see them play in Fir Tree Gully on the 9th. Once again, Clint, thanks for your time, man, and good luck with the rest of your tour.
Thanks, man. Good talking to you.
Catch you later, man.